I'm going live. I can't sleep. Felix. So, I don't know what's going on. I can't sleep. I can't sleep. And I figured I would just, his face is so serious. I can't sleep, and I figured I'd just come live and just chat with you guys. Are you guys having a hard time sleeping? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just can't sleep. What are you doing? All the animales totally are awake with me. Like, she couldn't jump up, so she's like, let me on the table. Let me on the table. There's a lot of really interesting things going on in the world right now. And it's been causing a lot of uptick in energy. Hey, can you grab her, please? Because she needs to go to bed. She needs to go to bed. Thank you. So, yeah, good night. So, I just feel like so much shifting is going on in the world. And to some degree, all of us are feeling it. All of us are feeling it. I wouldn't say that it's a bad thing. Do you guys feel like it's a bad thing? I don't feel like it's a bad thing. It almost feels like that anticipation you feel before you go on a major adventure, like something you've been anticipating for a long time is finally here. And it's like you're exhausted, but you can't quite sleep. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know how else to put it. But it's just some unnameable thing. And I think what's going on is we're all feeling this together. Yeah, it feels different. I like I said, it doesn't necessarily, to me, it doesn't necessarily feel like, like I don't know. I don't know. But I wouldn't say it's a bad type of anxiety. I would categorize it more as like maybe some sort of excitement. I don't even know what it is. I did see some things at the store today, and some would probably have taken it in a very negative way. But I didn't take it that way. I found it so ridiculously beautiful. So at one point, we were at one grocery store, and it was disconcerting seeing the shelves pretty much empty. And one of the ways that I cope is by being a smartass, being silly. And so my husband and I were kind of like joking around with some of the people in the aisle, and I don't know. Next thing you know, on the overhead speakers, one of the workers comes on and is like, we just want to remind everyone, we are restricting the quantities of each item to 3. You are only allowed to purchase 3 of any given item. And at first, my husband and I looked at each other like, like, what? Serious? And the reason I did that was because the special that they were having, I don't even eat this crap. I was trying to find something for my older kids who can eat gluten and stuff. It was Chef Boyardee, like ravioli or whatever the hell it was, and the promotion was 10 for $10. And so we had 10, and I was like, "But does that mean we can't buy the 10? Because that's the promotion. 10 for $10." And the worker said, "No, you unfortunately, it's only 3." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." But to me, that's a beautiful thing because it's like an indicator that these huge grocery chains, they're not thinking about profit right now. You know what I mean? They're thinking about taking care of their community. To me, that's beautiful because if you think about it, the people who aren't, you know what? Knock it off. Knock it off, okay? Quit preaching in the comments. Knock it off. Your energy is disgusting and just knock it off. You're out. But anyways, as I was saying, it's a beautiful thing because if you think about it, the people who aren't able to get to the stores right away, the people who maybe have to wait because they're waiting for funds or whatever it is typically the elderly, you know? And young families who have young children, and it's like paycheck to paycheck. And, so it really protects everybody. It really, really does. And that's a beautiful thing. And then after that, what I was looking for was actual meat because my kids have very specific diets that they have to adhere to for their health conditions. So we can't just buy anything. Even for meat, it has to be specific type of meat. And we went to Costco, and it was weird. There was toilet paper. There was one pallet of toilet paper, and no one was running. No one was like freaking out. Everyone was kind of just like, "Oh, there's toilet paper." And my husband's like, "We should get a couple of packs." And I was like, "Wait, I don't think you can. It's 144. Love it. 100% at 144." But yeah, I asked the worker, "Is there a restriction as to how many?" And he said, "You can only get one per person." And I was like, "That's so perfect." That's so perfect because now, everyone who's there has the opportunity to get a pack of toilet paper. It's a beautiful thing to see these huge companies who don't have to do this. They really don't. They can continue with business as usual. They don't have to accommodate anything. They don't have to be considerate. But there's such a huge change. There's a huge change, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing. And one of my most favorite things that I saw today, because I'm a recovering germaphobe, I don't do hand sanitizers anymore, was that when you get to Costco, they have these carts set aside because the workers have taken the time to completely wipe them down. I was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing." So it's weird to see the world the way it is, but at the same time, in so many ways, this silent beauty and peace is rising up. You see these videos of people who are in Italy. Italy is locked down. They're fully locked down. And it's looking like people are quarantined in their homes. And they're on their balconies having a rave, doing exercises together, singing together. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it seems like all the stores are wiping them down for everyone. That's a lovely, lovely thing to show consideration and care in that way. I like that. I really like that. Let's see. Um, yeah, it does feel like something. We're waiting for something to happen. Um, to me, it feels like we're waiting for a big surprise. like your birthday's coming and every year they surprise you and you're kind of just waiting to find out what it is. And I will. No, Felix, you heathen. You heathen ass feline. Do not touch that. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus the Christ. Get away from my door, you heathen ass cat. My cat is crazy. He's crazy. But what was I saying? This cat. Ah, this cat. Yeah, that's beautiful when people are conscious of each other. Oh yeah, so I am not a love and light channel. I'm a very real channel. But being real has nothing to do with peddling fear. Um, it has everything to do with acknowledging the state of whatever the circumstance is, the reality of the circumstance, and not wallowing there. Acknowledgement and seeking solutions, seeking different points of view where you can view whatever the circumstance is in a way that helps you to understand there's positive that comes out of this too. And I'm not talking about that fake shit where it's like, well, no, no. In this circumstance, I see a lot of positive coming out of it. And I've said it in live streams before because we really come from this general place of like, oh, it's over there. It's that country. It's not us. And now it's everyone. It's everyone. And it's beautiful in that it's this struggle, this pain is what's reunifying us. So whether this is just like a sick accident, something accidentally got released, whether it was intentional, whether it's something that is being used as a cover for something else, like I don't even really care. I honestly don't care. What I care about is the end result. And I feel like the end result is going to be a reunification of our entire race. I just feel like it's that. I feel like even if there are still people who exist in a selfish state of mind, there's going to be so few of them, they're going to have no choice but to assimilate. They're going to have no choice. That's not going to be a characteristic that will be tolerated by the critical mass. And so they'll be forced to be co-creators instead of competitors, It's just, I know. What do you mean? Why Black people don't get it? What does that mean? I'd like to understand. I'd like to understand that. I think some people understand, like off the bat, they understand the gist of things, and other people, and I don't feel like it's race specific, but I feel like other people who have struggled through so much, it's one thing after another, like whatever, and it might be that. I honestly, I don't know what to make of this virus. I really don't. Yeah. I'm tired but awake as well. I'm tired but awake, wide awake. Is this what you do at night when we go to sleep? Did you guys hear him? He goes, yeah. No, you can't be on the window. Not when the thing is down. We give it no energy. What do you mean? Like ignore it? Even when I give my cat no energy, he does whatever the hell he wants. He does whatever the hell he wants. We have to understand that sometimes, just because we don't give something energy, uh, it doesn't negate the fact that there are billions of other people in this world who have given it energy. And sometimes we have to understand that even if all of us don't give it conscious energy, it's allowed to continue to persist because it's a tool, it's a way to achieve something. And regardless of the people's participation, the people who are trying to spread it, the people who are trying to keep it from spreading, sometimes what really happens is things are allowed because they grow us individually and as a whole. And it's just something we have to allow ourselves to process. We have to allow ourselves to come to terms with the fact that regardless of how evolved we believe ourselves to be as individuals, um, the human brain just was not designed to be able to fully grasp the gravity of the decisions souls make as individuated sparks as well as a collective whole. Um, Everyone that's alive right now has chosen to be here for one reason or another. Some people will get very sick. Some people will get mildly sick. Some people won't get sick at all. And I really don't know who or what gets to choose that. Part of me believes that each of us chose exactly how we're going to experience this, because the way we choose to experience this, it's what's going to help develop and shape the person we are after this is done. And I'm really just trying my best to flow with whatever it is my higher self has planned for me, has planned for us. I mean, I'm flying to California in a couple days. California, that's about to be locked down. And I'm over here, Michael. I know you don't tell me what to do, but you're going to have to give me a definitive sign. I am not just responsible for myself. I'm also responsible for all of my guests that are joining me for this workshop. We're coming from all areas of basically the world. And you need to make sure every single last one of us is safe. If one of us is not safe, that's not going to be okay. So you're going to have to help my higher self guide me into knowing, okay, decisions need to be made. And so I'm just kind of sitting here. I'm not necessarily worried. I just kind of feel like if this is going to put myself and any of us, any of the guests at risk, it's not going to be allowed to happen. It's just not going to be allowed to happen. I have full trust in that. So as of right now, I'm still packing my shit because I'm going to head. Felix, you freaking, I don't know. Get off the stove. You need a baptism. He's a crazy ass cat. He keeps trying to turn the stove on. I'm telling y'all. So, yeah. But, oh, thank you, Renee. I'd like to be with my children though. um, yeah, I'm not scared to die. I'm not scared to get sick. I'm not scared to die. I feel like, well, if you want to take me out, go ahead. I'm not suicidal. I'm just like, whatever. We all die. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe I got that from my mom, but I'm not scared. I know everything that I experience, it leads to levels of growth that I've never been able to achieve, and I'll probably never be able to achieve it in another way. Let me see. I might meet you there, Marker. Yeah, if they declare martial law, then, we each need to make our own decisions as to how we're going to respond to that. I'd like to think that all of us have at least one option that's a peaceful one. But, I'm not going to sit here and encourage people to allow themselves to be victimized in any way, shape, or form. It's just, this is a transitionary period we're in. This is not going to last forever. Whatever this is not going to last forever. It is really not. It's really not. The feeling that I keep being given is that before the end of this month, we'll have the first part of the resolution. And if martial law is a part of one of the steps to get to the full resolution, then that's going to suck. I don't agree with that at all. But again, I'm human. I'm in a human body processing with a human mind. So I don't understand the gravity of what needs to happen. I don't understand it. I don't agree with much of it either. I will say that. Yeah, Renee, I'm gonna pick you to be my fighter in a death match. She said, I'd rather die on my feet than to live on my knees. Yeah, no, I share that same logic. I absolutely share that same. I would rather die. I'm not even joking, not even being dramatic. I'm totally that girl. Because my brothers taught me MMA. I grew up with nothing but boys. And it was one of those things. If I get your arm, I'm going to break that shit. I don't care if you tap. If I can get your arm, I'm going to break it. And, if they pin me down or try, I don't care. I'm not tapping out. Put me to sleep. I don't care. That's just how it is, That's just how it is for me. That's why my husband doesn't play with me. He's like, no, I don't want to play with you. You don't play fair. Wow. You work as a location scout for the Discovery Channel. They've sent everyone home. That's a very, very important thing that you just said. Heading to the wilderness will not help if one is untrained, you guys. Life is not a movie, okay? Life is not a movie. By the blood of Christ, get off my damn stove. I don't want to accidentally hit him, though. What is your problem, cat? He's making out with my pot. Felix, I don't want to accidentally, throw it wrong and have it hit you. I don't even care at this point. Enjoy yourself. He can enjoy himself. Let's see. Yeah. Not many of us have done any of that. One of the most interesting things couple years ago, for whatever reason, I didn't quite understand it. For whatever reason, um, I was forced to boondock at a Walmart parking lot for about 5 months. Um, I didn't see it bad. I didn't see it as a bad thing. It was just like, you know, whenever I learn what I need to learn, we'll be out of here. It's no big deal. And my husband gets so annoyed because everything to me is no big deal. It's no big deal. Why are you like, it's no big deal. and and it's now it's clear. 5 months. 5 months is what it took for me to figure out how to navigate this type of circumstance. lots of lots of ways to navigate this type of circumstance where you have limited resources, no electricity, no running water. You get real creative. And my circumstance wasn't bad at all. It really wasn't bad, because just the other day, my youngest said to me, he missed that time when we used to live in the parking lot. He loved it, you know? But yeah, definitely. I'm not worried. I'm more worried for everyone else. I know what my family can handle. I know what it's like when things are too intense. And yeah, movies definitely will get people killed. You have to know the terrain. You really, really do. And so I spent 5 months boondocked, and I spent, I want to say, 3.5 years as a vagabond. I know what different states are like. I know what states to avoid, what areas of what states are hospitable, which are densely populated, which aren't. Yeah. And, I'm from Oakland, so no fear, baby. No fear. Off grid can be like camping if you've ever been dry camping. Now, if your camping involves actual toilets, if your camping involves electricity, it's not like camping at all. It's not like camping. So, and it's not to instill fear. Right now, there's plenty of time for you to begin familiarizing yourself with different types of scenarios, not to prepare for worst case scenario, but just to prepare yourself mentally for any potentialities. It doesn't mean you're waiting for that to happen. It really doesn't. You could just be curious. You really can. Really? I would love to hear more about that, hiking deep. You once chose to be homeless for 2.5 years. I spent that time hiking across the US, southern Canada, and northern Mexico. I've actually traveled those places. We took a 1983, I think it was a 1983 Suburban with no AC. And my kids. And we drove, because I was living in California at the time, we drove through Mexico, almost to Guatemala before we turned back around. And that was a time when, we didn't know it because we weren't watching the news, but that was a time when I guess all the cartels were doing beheadings and kidnappings of US citizens and stuff. And here we are. A Suburban full of kids driving through the Mexican countryside with no license plates. Hey, if you know what you're getting yourself into, you're perfectly fine. You're perfectly fine. Before we entered Mexico, I asked my husband, what are some possible things that could potentially break down in that Suburban? We're bringing those parts with us. He's like, okay. And my intuition specifically told me to bring a fuel filter. Fuel filter because their fuel is not as refined. And so we were deep in that countryside. Like, we had no cell reception. We didn't even have cell service, not just cell reception, but our phones wouldn't go international because it was a few years back. And pressing on the gas, it's not accelerating. I was like, oh shit, the Suburban broke down. We're outside a village. My husband pulls over. He's like, fuck. And I said, wait. I'm like this. Wait. It's the fuel filter. And he's like, no, it's not the fuel filter. And I said, it is. Just replace it. Humor me. Just replace it. And he goes and replaces it. And it's working again. We're on the road. It's like about 20 minutes. That's it. So if you allow yourself to really be led by your intuition has a tendency to really, really look out for you. Really, really look out for you. She said, I can't make a blanket statement like that where all of the CARTL are good people and all of the COPS are not. I think there's good in both groups and not so good in both groups. Yeah, if you've gone primitive or dry camping, that's a little bit better. But, you definitely watch some videos. Yeah, you want to make sure you learn some stuff now while everything is still fairly calm. If you want to prepare for like an actual shit hits the fan type of circumstance, I don't think that's really going to happen. I think things will get close. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be really honest. I think it'll get close to that. And then I think the people will push back. It's going to be hard for a handful to control billions. The only reason they've been in control this whole time is because we've allowed it. We've allowed our separation. Now all of us are suffering. And so what happens? All of us are pissed. All of us. Every single last one of us. Even the people who have money are like, what the fuck? There's no food. Yeah. There's no food. Are you pissed yet? It's not just the poor people, huh? And so it's a reunification. It's what it is. I'm not scared. It's a reunification, and we really have to just make sure we stay calm about things. Don't decide or commit to any action that's rooted in fear. That's going to fuck you up real bad. It really will. Is that my cat alone? Or is he chasing something? I've never stayed awake with him. He's fucking crazy. He's crazy. What is he chasing? I don't know what. Do cats do this? Do they chase shit out of nowhere? I've never owned a cat before. Ever. I tell you, I'm not scared of big ass men threatening to kick my ass. I'll fuck you up too. This cat scares the shit out of me. I don't know where he is. I'm like, I gotta put my feet up. I don't know if he's gonna go after my feet. He scares the shit out of me. Is he keeping demons away? I will protect myself. This is gonna hurt. Please don't force me. Oh, what are you doing? I saw him running towards me. What's your issue, bruh? What's your issue? He made me dizzy. Do you want me to die from high blood pressure? My mom would say. Is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to kill me? Felix. He doesn't give a shit. I swear to God. He's scaring me. If I take off running, it's because of the cat. He seriously scares the shit out of me, dude. I don't know where he went. You guys can't say this is animal abuse. This is self-defense. It's stale. Can he feel the intensity? He's right here. Shit. Come here. Come on. Come up here. Come on. You made me scream like a freaking weirdo. Come on. Do you want to come up here? I'll scoot over for you. Come on. You're offended that I made that noise? Well, I'm offended by your existence right now. Come here. Don't bite me. I'm going to bite you back. Don't bite me. I am always so nice to you. Come here. Come here. Don't meow me. All right. And then he starts. You're a dick. But I love you. I'm sorry. You freaked me out. You were doing some crazy running things. I don't know what you're chasing. This guy. I know, I keep being told a spray bottle works good, but God, the thing is, I have kids and they're not just going to be spraying a cat. They're going to spray all kind of stuff. He's 2. I know, he's grooming me. He likes my beard. What are you doing? He keeps looking back. Like, what are you waiting for? Who are you waiting to see? Yeah, kids spray everything and everyone. It hurts. It hurts already, Felix. It hurts. Okay, bruh, for real. Like, what is this? What is this? Anyways, what were you guys talking about? He's digging his nails into me. He thinks I'm going to take him off of me. So he's gripping. All right. Oh my. This guy. So, yeah. Definitely make sure you start if you're planning to go into the wilderness. You guys, just know there's so many other people planning to go to the wilderness. Ow. Okay. There's so many other people planning to go to the wilderness. If you think you're going to go to your favorite campsite, I'm pretty sure there's quite a few other people who have that campsite as their favorite campsite. So just be why would you do that? Oh, my head! Oh my god! He's attacking my hair. Let me go, you fucking demon. Felix. Oh my god. What is your problem? Y'all, he will let go. You are a furry penis. Get off of me. I feel so violated. Mm. 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 Oh, God. Give me a second, guys. The Love Boat. Soon we'll be making another run. The Love Boat. You're all I need to get by. You're all I need to get by. I'm like sweet morning dew. I took one look at you, and it is plain to see you are my destiny. You, I spend my time. I dedicate this. Oops, hold on. Don't be so quick. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. The bastardos are in the comments. Just ignore it, guys. Just ignore it. Like naughty little children. Naughty little children. Hold on. Okay. Hey, Stephanie. I'm making you a moderator tonight. You as well, Markles. Let's get to blocking. Let's see. Da, 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 da. You're all I need to get by. Sorry, wrong Stephanie. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I totally took out all the commenters. Yeah. Sorry. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. All right, well, that sucked. It's okay. I used to be a troll too. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but I would do funny shit. I remember like a year or two ago when I was doing regular online auctions. I used to do auctions on Facebook live streams, and trolls would comment. It was just like, that's so pathetic. I would say so much shit to them. And quite often, the trolls would end up becoming regular viewers. So it's all good. Yeah, it doesn't bother me none. Don't bother me none at all. So let's see. Um, whoa. That's one hell of an introduction to religion, Lorna. That's one hell of an introduction. Um, you still want to continue? Like, damn. I'm gonna have to second that, Scorpion Goddess. Like, damn. I'm just I don't have a favorite food. I don't have a favorite food. I don't really have a favorite color. I'm kind of just like floating along. Um, what's the best way to get through the sleepless night? Chatting. Chatting. Yeah, that's a crazy ass dream. That's a crazy ass dream. That damn. My favorite musician. Um I love 90s music. I love uh electronica, trap, dubstep. I love those songs. Yeah. I love all I love country too. Looks like we made it. Look how far we come, my baby. Glad we didn't listen. Look at what we would be missing. They say. Let's see. I love 90. Well, 90s was my decade. Yeah. 90s was I was doing all kind of shit. Here's one of the things. Um, I actually am not someone who partakes in any kind of altering substances. I don't even drink. I try and pretend like I do, like I pour myself a cup of oh sorry, a glass. I don't even know that. A cup of no, I try and pour myself some wine, and I really ever only take like a sip or two, and I'm like, this is nasty. Like, and yeah. So yeah, I don't smoke the sticky. Um, I don't snort anything. I don't inject anything, and I just find it really interesting because I do know quite a few people who are legitimate drug addicts. Beautiful, beautiful souls, very tortured. Uh, so much pain, so much unprocessed pain, inability to cope. And my heart really feels for them, like feels real deeply for people who have addiction problems. And I just find it interesting when people can so nonchalantly be like, because they don't understand my humor. Like someone recently would have had to screenshot this. What did he write? Actually, I posted it on my Facebook because Facebook kept, or not Facebook, but YouTube kept deleting my comment. Why you delete my comment, but you leave his comment up? That's stupid. Here it is. So they comment, I think there's some vodka in your coconut water, implying that I was having some sort of alcoholic moment. I didn't find that funny. You find humor in someone else's suffering? What if I really was an alcoholic? You think that's funny? That someone is hurting so badly they have to self-medicate? And so the only proper response that I could think of was, "I think there's a dick in your mouth." I'm just saying. You wanna be a dick? Let's go dickish, full on dickish. Yeah, no, I don't find that funny. Like, I don't feel offended. It's like, why do you think that's okay to diminish someone else's really intense life struggle? You're a dick. You got a dick in your mouth. That's why you're talking like a dick. Okay? So there you but YouTube kept deleting it. I'm like, bitch. Let me just screenshot this shit and post it on Facebook then. But yeah, um, let's see. I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't do anything. You want me to drink a bottle of wine and do a video of me singing? Mhm. 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 Yeah, no, I sometimes will tell myself that, "Ooh, let's be sophisticated. Get some wine, be sophisticated." And then I get the fake wine, you know? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Stella Rosa. It's fake ass wine. And then I like fill it up because I want to feel extra sexy and stuff because that's what TV tells me is sexy. And I sit there and I take a little sip and I'm like, I don't feel good. Leave it. And then I put it down and I'm just like, this is bullshit. That don't even taste good. This is just bullshit. And then I get all upset with myself because then my stomach starts to feel like it's burning. Yeah. I think what happened was when I was younger, I went ahead and went to a party with my coworkers. It was supposed to be like this calm little party until someone started giving me shots. And then that shit wasn't calm anymore. You don't give someone like me shots. I riled everybody up. Everyone was hella rowdy. I think we probably destroyed this girl's house. I felt really horrible. I fell into the toilet twice. I puked in my friend's car. It was just a bunch of really amazing things that happened that night. I was drunk for 2 days straight. I got alcohol poisoning. I probably should have went to the ER. I got alcohol poisoning. Yeah, ever since then, I don't drink, and no one ever invites me to go drink. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. All right, guys. What else do y'all want to talk about? Yeah, I think I was 18 or maybe 19. And one of the neighbors called the cops. One of the neighbors called the cops, and I got really lucky because the party was a security party. And mall security is very closely tied to the local PD. And so what happened was we were partying with the local PD. Mhm. Mhm. And then, they arrived at the apartment and one of their sergeants happened to be carrying me. And they're like, this rowdy ass, we taking her out. We're taking her we're taking her home, putting her drunk ass home. And so I didn't have to go to the drunk tank. I got so fucking lucky, dude. Yeah. Yeah. And so since then I don't drink. Mhm. You want me to sing Aretha Franklin songs? Girl, what is this? Are you the one that keeps asking me to sing? You don't want me to sing at 2 in the morning? Yeah, there we go. Vodka is not my friend either. It's a lying ass bitch. Vodka's a lying ass bitch. Yeah, vodka totally told me that I can dance on tables. No. I've never danced on a table. What the fuck, I'm just hyping that shit up. I'm just hyping that shit up. I don't dance on tables. But vodka has convinced me before to try and fist fight. Yeah, no. Cannabis did that too. That's the weird thing. Cannabis does not affect me the way it affects a regular person. Regular person would be chill, right? Regular person would be very chill. You give me THC, I'm highly reactive to THC. I get violent. Excuse me. No bueno. No bueno. None at all. Weed makes me paranoid too, and then I get violent. I can only be paranoid for so many minutes before I have to neutralize the threat. So I just can't. I can't do that. Tequila and hen you are so Union City. Oh my god, girl. No, I can't do indica. I can't do sativa. I can't. It's not the strain. I'm just reactive to THC. Period. Because in the past, former friends were very skilled growers. They were top people in the industry. People who have strains named after them. Like, oh, girl, try this. I got fucked up. I tried to fight the wall. Yeah, no. I'm just reactive to THC, period. Just, I can't do it at all. It's 2:34. Yeah, I'm very sensitive. Um, I tried to desensitize myself to alcohol a couple of years ago. Uh, that worked real good. I can now take like a sip of fake ass wine. It's fake ass wine. It's like church wine. Yeah, and that will still get me very tipsy. But before, if you open a wine cooler and let me smell it, I will get tipsy. So it was really bad before. Ooh, you like the terpenes. Terpenes. Okay. Yeah, I don't do any of that. People ask me if I do like peyote, ayahuasca, all of that stuff. No, I don't do any of that. I don't feel like I really need to. Is smoking weed really bad for spirituality? That's a really good question. I had someone ask me that recently. So I have no problem with weed, the plant. I'm absolutely 100% an advocate of medicinal cannabis. Um, Recreational, I'm not going to tell you what to do. When it comes to spiritual, here's the thing. If if you can use it in a way where you're able to harness that altered mindset, it's beautiful for spirituality. But we come across so many people who are in denial of their addiction issues. And yes, weed, cannabis is not physically addictive, okay? But mentally, emotionally, it absolutely is. If you have an addiction issue, if you have struggles with addiction and addictive personality, shit, this could be an addiction. You guys are probably like, why the fuck should you keep holding that up? What is that? It's a Laffy Taffy. It's a Laffy Taffy. Anything can be an addiction. So if you have an addiction issue, which many people do. Um, they often call weed their medicine. It's not your medicine. Be honest with yourself. They say that it's your spiritual practice. No, you're not getting spiritual. You're just getting lit. That's it. And you're not expanding your consciousness. So, I mean, the answer would be very, very um, unique for each individual. Very unique. And again, who the hell am I to tell you, don't do that? That's the devil's lettuce. I just remembered one of my troll accounts before because I used to love trolling people. Petunia lettuce bottom. That was my profile. Petunia lettuce bottom. We also had the Bangkok bunny from Bangkok, Thailand. Yeah, no, that one was really bad. That one was really bad. I thought that, you put Bangkok bunny and then you put you're from Thailand and you're transgender, that men would leave you alone. Oh no, boo-boo. It's a whole nother caliber of male that messages you. I was like, leave my Bangkok buddy alone. Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. So is that considered an English accent? I thought that was just my smart ass accent. I wasn't trying to do an English accent. It was just my smart ass voice. Okay, that's one of the things I don't know. I'm pretty sure Pisces truly does have multiple personalities because I've always just done things like that. I also have a Southern Belle personality. I don't know. How much toilet paper do you, girl? Were you not here at the beginning? I got one pack. One pack with hella kids. I'm like, y'all kids better hop in the shower. My stomach does not feel good. Bangkok bunny. Like a rabbit. Bangkok bunny. Oh my God. Maybe I need to sit up like this. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I don't have a bra on. I don't want you guys to see my status right now. Okay. This is not serious enough that I need to put a bra on for y'all. Okay. Here on up. That's the business. Here on up. Everything below that. No. So let's see. Let's see. Pisces are a bit cuckoo. I don't. Possibly. Maybe a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit. Okay. Oh girl, you from Oakland too? I lived off Fruitvale. I'm from Fruitvale. Girl, my mom used to work at Highland General Hospital. That's the county hospital, if you guys don't know. County Hospital of Oakland. And if y'all think you're going to try to intimidate me behind a screen, I used to take my mom to work and pick her up at midnight in the middle of Oakland County Hospital. Someone shot someone in front of my car. I was like, well, you got fucked up. Somebody, he got fucked up. Did he hit my car? Okay, y'all ain't gonna be intimidating my ass. All right. This another time this guy lost his fucking mind. He wanted to kill somebody. I was sitting there in my little Benz. I'm like, Mom, I really can't be picking you up in your car. This is not a good look. I'm really small. And you have me sitting in a luxury car at midnight by myself. Unless you're going to let me carry a gun with me. That's just not gonna fly. But so one night I was sitting there, it's like midnight already because she gets off at midnight, and I'm waiting for her to come down. I'm sitting in front of the ER and someone just had their homie get murdered. I was like, shit, should I go around the block? This guy's heated. And he keeps looking over at me. He's heated. I wasn't scared. I was just like, fuck, I don't want to be a part of this shit. And yeah, he had his little gun. It actually wasn't little. It must have been a 45. And he was like, fuck that, I was just like trying to just look around and like, I can't leave because if she comes down, then she's gonna be outside of the car with this guy waiting for me to come back. And so finally I rolled down my window. I'm like, bro, you okay? He's like, no. I said, man, I think he went that way. I'm pretty sure I saw him go that way. You go past that quick stop. I'm pretty sure you'll find him over. He goes, oh, all right. And he left. I was like, thank God. I don't think I saw whoever he was looking for. I don't know. I don't need to know what you're looking for. You just need to vacate the premises. Yeah, no. And security was kind of just like looking at him. I'm like, yeah, you just gonna let him like be waving around a firearm? I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Pretty sure of it. But I think he was too scared to say anything. He wasn't going to say anything because he was by himself. He was waiting for his backup to come. I was like, you should travel in pairs. You're in Oakland. Oh, you're from the South Bay? You used to walk to the Coliseum Bar to Bancroft. Ooh, you a savage. Oh my gosh. Oh shit. In this circumstance, yeah, no, I wouldn't want to be in Oakland. I wouldn't want to be in Oakland. I definitely wouldn't want to be. Mm, mm-mm. See, that's the thing. It's like when I used to go hang out in Oakland with my friends and stuff. People have this image of Oakland being a horrible, horrible place. There's places that are very rough. There's places that are bougie and ritzy, and that's more up the hills. But if the people can feel that their struggle, you can relate, you have empathy, typically they give you respect. Unless you want to be out there trying to broadcast something, it's not the right place to be broadcasting shit. Yeah, it's not. I've never had a homeless person bother me. I've never had anyone do any of that to me. Ever. Yeah. I think it's the mindset. When you have a mindset that makes it easier for you to be victimized, not saying you deserve it, not saying you created it, but it definitely sends out a message to people who are feeling like they have no other choice but to victimize someone else in order to survive. And if you guys don't understand, that's like the logic of most people in rough neighborhoods. Don't enter a rough neighborhood. I mean, by choice, at one point, I chose to live in Marysville. And that is in Phoenix, Arizona. And Marysville was beautiful to me. I did not know this. And, it was chill. It was really chill. And I go outside and I look, and it's old people sitting in their lawn chairs, just people watching. And then one day we'd been there for a little bit already. One day, I went to go sell my camera equipment because, I was like, let's be honest, I'm retired from photography. I'm not going to take it up again. We go into a pawn shop, and I tell the guy, I love, um, I love Marysvale. It's so chill. And what ended up happening, the pawn shop guy was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, it's just all old people and stuff." And he totally was like, "Oh, you came at a good time then. You must have just moved because it wasn't that long ago. We were having a murder pretty much every day, nonstop gunfire and this and that." I was like, "Oh, oh, oh, I didn't know." Yeah, every place that I go, I that's how I see things. I see the beauty in it. And I totally have that mindset of you might be bigger than me. You might be more violent than me. You might have a stronger feeling of needing to survive. But if you try and victimize me, I will try and victimize you back. It's not going to be easy. You're going to earn that shit. I'm going to make you fucking work for that. And you're not going to get out of it without marks on you. And I've just always had that mindset. And have I ever had to fight someone? No, because I don't want to. Because although I'm prepared to if I have to, that's never my intention. There was one time, because another time we lived in DTC. Um, that's like the downtown area of Denver. So anyway, anyways, so we're at the laundromat. We had our youngest kids with us. My husband and I were at the laundromat, and we're just waiting for the wash to finish. And we're at our car, and my kids are kind of playing around with him outside the car, and I'm sitting inside our car. And because at the time we were traveling so much, we travel armed. I don't play when it comes to making sure my children are secure. So we travel armed, both of us. And this large group of juveniles was approaching. There must have been between 15 to 20 of them. They were loud, they were rowdy. My husband was outside the car with our toddlers. And he was wearing Jordans. And one of the biggest guys in the group was like, "I like your shoes." Wrongest thing to say. Wrongest thing to say. And what ended up happening, my husband was eating, I think, like a granola bar or something. He popped it in his mouth. He goes, "You like my shoes? What'd you say? You like my shoes?" And I was like, fuck. And of course, I'm the Bonnie to his Clyde. I'm like, "Kids, get in the car." They're all in their car seats. And I reached in my bag and I loaded my Glock. And I was just like, "Please don't make me shoot you. Not in front of my kids. Don't make me shoot you." And I was just looking through the side mirror. I was like, "Fuck, don't make me shoot you in front of my fucking kids. You're not going to touch my husband." And so my husband starts walking over to them. "You like my shoes? You like my shoes?" I was like, "Please don't egg them on." And because of his like dominant energy, the guy's like, "Oh, no, 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 no." He goes, "Oh, no, say it again. You like my shoes?" And I was like, "I think he doesn't like your shoes." Can you just get in the car? And so they left right away. The juveniles left right away. But yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to be an easy victim. I have no intention of doing harm to anyone, but I will defend my family. Whatever force is necessary, I will defend my family and I'll deal with the legal ramifications after. That's just kind of how you got to roll. That's just how you, and we've never been messed with. We've never, it's just that's we're not going to be victimized. You're not going to do that to us. We are good people, but we'll get real crooked real quick if we need to. And it's about survival. You're confused. Where was the threat? The way he said it and the way the other men were posturing with him, they wanted to steal his shoes off his feet because at that time, that was a very common thing to be happening in Denver. So that was the threat. That was the threat. And yeah, because they misunderstood what they were seeing. They saw a man with small children. I don't remember what was his race. My husband gets a lot of compliments on his shoes. It was the way it was said. My husband's never reacted like that to anyone before. Never. Never, ever, ever. So I knew there was something with that shit. If you compliment my husband on his shoes, even if you rough around the edges, he'd be like, "What's up?" Hey, he likes he likes shoe compliments. That shit was not a compliment. It wasn't. It wasn't a compliment. So, and yes, all races do it. It was a mix of, I want to say, it was primarily like Latino, but there were some black juveniles with them too. It's just a mix. It was a big group. And he literally had just been telling me how people, specifically teenagers in Las Vegas, because we lived in Vegas at one point, have been coming in large groups and knocking on doors and doing invasions, home invasions, and just victimizing the people who are home. And so he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing. My husband he's really chill. He's a really chill guy. And when he gets pissed off, there's a serious problem because usually I'm the one that gets pissed off. And he's just like, "Hey, stop, just stop, don't say nothing." But he said something, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's some shit that's gonna happen outside." But yeah, no, he's accustomed to people complimenting on his shoes. He's very much accustomed to it. If I remember right, there's been a few times where men have followed him through the mall, peeping his shoes, and he strikes up a conversation with them. He's not insecure in that way. Yeah, yeah, you know. I don't know what is that a movie? I don't watch movies. I don't watch TV. Um, I don't even know what movies are out. I haven't watched movies in years. Oh, actually, I think I watched there was some Avenger something, and my kids really wanted to see it, so we went to the theater for it, and I fell asleep. Before the movie even started, I fell asleep. Charles Bronson, why does this sound so familiar? You know what? Wait, have I watched? Hold on, let me see what that wish is. I have watched that. I don't remember the details of it. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. He became a vigilante. I will say, um, you're not very cultured, are you, Mr. Christian, if you're going to be racist, I'm not Vietnamese. It makes you look uneducated when your racism doesn't match up with my race. I'm actually Filipina. I'm not Vietnamese. Gook is for Vietnamese. I'm not Vietnamese. So, let's see. Ooh, anime. I love anime. I love anime. Are most movies now trash? Yeah. I find myself feeling and thinking that many of the movies that are out right now and that have been coming out, well, I don't even know what's out right now. Let's get real. For the past few years, um, I noticed it kind of serves as programming to prepare you to accept certain things. So that's part of the reason why I just stopped watching TV and movies, aside from the fact that we were traveling full time. We were straight up nomads, traveling from coast to coast nonstop for 3.5 years. Yeah, not much TV can be watched on the road. So yeah. What's a good movie right now? And I was doing some I don't know how I came across it. I was doing some research on brain waves, brain activity, things like that. And I came across information that, in a nutshell, was saying that in order for a movie to be a blockbuster, a really successful one, they came up with this formula that you needed to experience brain trauma every X amount of minutes. So, like a loud sound, something that startles you, just varying degrees of that. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not watching no more. Yeah. So I pretty much stopped watching, and I love to read. I really, really love to read. I have so many books in storage. It's ridiculous. I know this housing is temporary, so I haven't gotten my books out of storage. I have so many books. It's ridiculous. And wait, what? Oh, I thought you said something else. um, some of my favorite books, because I don't really read like novels and things like that. This is gonna sound real weird. I like to read medical encyclopedias, medical manuals, um, just things like that, manuals. It's weird. It's really, really weird. And because I can't bring my books with me anymore, well, until we finally decide to like settle down in one place, what I've been doing is accessing this website where you can audit a college course. These are courses that are being taught by Ivy League colleges. They're real programs, and it's completely free. It's completely free. It's, I believe, edX. Hold on. I'll comment the link. That's not it. Oh, it's .org, not .com. Like, that is not what I'm looking for. So it says it was created by Harvard and MIT. So some of the host colleges are Harvard, MIT, UC Berkeley, Boston University. It's awesome. So I just go through this website and I start auditing classes. If you want to get credit for it, you just pay $50 and if you If you master the course, they'll give you a certificate. So it's right there. Yeah, there's some really good courses there. You love reading medical books? Seriously, oh my God. I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with my childhood programming because, Asians. That was racist. Sorry. So oftentimes with Filipino cultures, they groom the daughter to enter the medical field. So, I was basically groomed to become a surgeon. I wanted to specialize in neurosurgery. And then I was like, but I also would love to do cardiothoracic. And then I was like, but it would be really fun if I also did the ER, because that would like really keep you on your toes. They're said to be the most highly trained, and then my cousin who got her BSN, she'd been working as an RN for a little bit already. And she was like, you wouldn't be happy as a doctor. You'd be better as a nurse because you'd have the actual interaction with the patients, and that's what you're good at. Cardiothoracic, meaning the heart, chest. Yeah. What? Do you need a high school diploma or GED for that program? No, I don't think so. Is that right? And I quote, "I'm Irish. If it wasn't for whiskey, we would rule the world through love and partying." Damn straight. Okay. I love that. You rock on with your bad self. Oh, all CNAs and LVNs. Ooh, girl, don't be saying that to the Filipino. They'll be like, I'm not an LBN. I'm an RN. Yeah, that's offensive. That's like, I'm just going by what my mom said. These are not my personal thoughts. That's for the lazy one. The lazy one. Because they don't want to do the whole school. It's like, this is a nurse is a nurse. No, that's the ass wiping. Like, well, aren't you elitist? She's elitist and shit. Yeah. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. Are you an RN too? I used to love math. And then I had a teacher who was a total jerk and she ruined it for me. And then when I started with junior college, I got paired up with the most genius professor. And he was so ridiculously dorky. It was he was weird. He was. I like weird things. So yeah, no, and I think maybe because I had like a little bit of a crush on him. I really listened in class and I love math. I'm actually really good at it when I'm paying attention. I usually don't pay attention though. Oh, you're washing the dishes. Oh, well, with the passing the course, you just have to have turned in sufficiently earned enough points for the homework to get the certification. But you don't have to get the certification. If you're just using it for personal enrichment, then you don't need the certification. Oh, as soon as you see percentage. you're like- so my oldest is legit genius status. He likes to do complex math problems without paper and a pencil. He just stares at the ceiling. I'm like, what are you looking at? Like, what did you write answers on the ceiling? And he didn't. He didn't. So that's what he does. Um, let's see. Oh, so that's what he does. And when we were homeschooling, he was, I want to say he was 13 or maybe he was 12. And he was taking a calculus course. I never did calculus. I never did calculus. So he's 12 and we're homeschooling and it's now calculus that he's working on. And he tells me, can you help me figure out how to do this problem? And I read it and I was like, my eyes crossed. What? Okay. And I tried to Google a video to help me understand. And I had my pencil and my paper, and I was like really trying really hard, like so hard. I wanted to be such a good mom. And it was maybe like 30 minutes that I was trying so hard and I was getting all teary eyed, but I wasn't giving up. I wasn't making it obvious. Well, I thought I wasn't making it obvious. And then he puts his hand on my shoulder. He goes, it's okay, Mom. I figured it out on my own. And I was like, what do you mean you figured it out on your own? He goes, so you do this, this, and this, and then this is what you get. And we looked at the back of the book and that was the answer. And I was like, why did you ask me how to do it if you understand? He goes, well, I didn't understand it, but I saw you struggling so hard. I decided to figure it out to help you. It's like, okay, well, since you figured it out, I got all offended. Yeah, so he figured it out to help me. You couldn't, like, he felt so bad for me. He figured out his calculus problem. Oh my God. I'm just like, yeah. I have the kind of kids that will ask me some serious ass questions. And as soon as I give the answer, they go and Google it to make sure that I was accurate. Well, you couldn't have Googled that shit in the first place. So yeah, no. Yeah, we don't really treat them like well, he already tested out of high school. That was years ago. He's been in college for some time now. He says to me, I was like, do you want to just test out? I mean, don't you want to just test out? Because for high school credit, he was already doing college. He was taking college courses to satisfy high school units, and I told him it would transfer to college too. So that's what we were doing. That's what he was doing. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's absolutely okay that you are, but I can see where your energy is taking you. So we're going to go ahead and put you to bed. That my kids think I know everything. It's crazy. They think I know everything. I don't know everything. Why do you keep thinking that? So years ago, my mom was admitted to the hospital, and she had a stroke, right? And so my kids come to visit her, and the phlebotomist comes in and takes blood samples, and so there starts all the questions. What are they doing? Does that hurt grandma? What do they need that for? What are they going to do with it? And so her nurse walks in, and we're talking about platelet counts and how the body creates its own Band-Aids using scabs. But before you get to the scab part, you first have to what happens when the platelets are exposed to air, they basically explode, and it creates a network that eventually fills itself, and that's the clot. And I was explaining this to my kids, and then the nurse was like, and then my mom goes, "Don't bother them, they're in school." She goes, "Oh, your mother told the staff that you're from Colorado." My mom was in California. I said, "Yeah, we're from Colorado." "Oh, did you pull your kids out of school to come visit? How long can you stay?" I said, "No, we homeschool." And she goes, "Oh, they're in school." I said, "Yes, they were asking me." And then I was like, "Children, do you want to ask this nurse any questions?" "Would you like to ask her any questions?" And she was like, "Don't be interrupting our lessons if you're not willing to contribute." So, yeah, no, and then my kids started asking about medical procedures. They wanted to know about brain function. What does it mean when, because they heard me talking to the nurse that I had to tell them she has a deficit in her left leg, left arm is still functional, no deficit. And then they're like, "What's a deficit?" I said, "Would you like to explain that?" We kept her in there for like an hour. She had to explain how one half of the brain controls the other half of the body and this and that. And sometimes when, and then we got into medications, and what was really like boggling her mind, it wasn't the older kids that were asking. It was my toddlers. The older ones already knew the answer. So it was my toddlers that were asking, and my mom was just laying there smiling, hella proud. And the nurse was so weirded out. She finally left after like an hour. But yeah, no, we definitely don't do the usual family stuff. We don't. Actually, actually, you'd be surprised. Daddy, he does sometimes say, "Ask your mom," but for the most part, at this point, he's become very proactive with, excuse me, exposing them to new topics and really going in depth with it. It's very impressive. There's nothing more attractive than a man who um, can embrace intelligence, not be intimidated by a strong-willed female, and be very gentle with you despite being a savage. He can be so savage. I don't know if you guys have heard him. Sometimes I go live while we're in the car on Facebook. Sometimes I go live. That's never directed at me, but I feel bad for other people. Like, do you really have to be like that? He goes, "Yeah, okay. Turn that shit back on then. Don't be putting it on my side of the car." What about the question, "Mommy, Daddy, why am I here?" I haven't had that question yet. Probably because since birth, I've been really encouraging them to explore their own path, like really, really encouraging them. No, my husband's not new age. He's so not new age. He is uh very content in a 3D existence. And I don't need him to be new age. Well, first off, I'm not new age, but I don't need him to be in what I'm doing. We're actually complete opposites, like polar opposites. So, and it works. It works because he supports me, I support him, and it just works. We're like opposites attract. You said it to your parents. One time, one of my little ones, when he was very little, he goes, do you remember? And I was like, remember what? And he's like, do you remember? And I said, well, tell me and I'll tell you if I remember. And he goes, you have to work on that. Work on what? Well, you don't remember. You have to work on remembering. And I'm assuming he's talking about a previous life because he'd be saying like really off the wall shit to me. All my kids do, actually. There is no new age. This was prophetic. Honestly, my personal stance, and I'm pretty sure Magnetic James over here was just using the vernacular of the people when he stated new age. I don't think he necessarily meant new age. It's more of a colloquial use of it. He probably meant spiritual or whatever. But my personal stance is that new age is controlled opposition. It was the new option for those whose programming went defunct because we are programmed. Yeah. We definitely live our lives in programming, being programmed, different levels of programming. And I think what happened was they needed to figure out a way to keep us still controlled, and so they released the whole new age thing. Yeah. I feel like new age is a trap. I don't even consider myself spiritual. I consider myself more of just a sovereign. I decide what's best for me. I'm responsible for the effects that come from the causations that I choose. And that's kind of just that. A lot of people, spirituality is becoming the next step of new age. A lot of controlled opposition, oppression, condemnation, things like that. Am I an indigo? I was born a specific line of indigo. You don't stay indigo your whole life. You have the option of elevating your frequency. So I was born indigo, but my frequency has transitioned quite a bit since. And I emanate more of a diamond ray frequency. So, yeah. And I have been filtered through the blue ray. That's a soul family. Indigo would be more of like a frequency patterning. It's about the frequency patterning. Crystal, rainbow children, the frequency patterning. It's some people say the reason the term indigo was used was because when the aura is viewed, it looks indigo. Well, that's the visible frequency. There's an audible frequency paired with the visible. That audible would make the tonation of Melchizedek. That's not a name. That's the sound. And so, there's a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I don't really like stereotypes. I like to see people as individuals. Like I haven't quite figured it out, but either I'm seeing no races or I'm just assuming all of you are Filipino. I don't know which one it is. It's either I'm not allowing any races to register, I'm not splitting us up in different races, or I've just adopted all of you. You're all my cousins. What up, cousin? Yeah, I think I just treat everybody like they're Filipino. Like, what, you don't hugas? My husband's like, that's a Filipino thing. No, it's not. Everybody should hugas. Wash that. Use some soap. I was just saying, maybe you won't have such a stank energy. Yes, I have empathy. I guess you could consider me an empath. People are people. Yep. Right? So we're like, what's up, cousin? um, Indigo and Melchizedek, is that what makes you Blu-ray? Those are very common characteristics of Blu-rays. Blu-rays do come from the Melchizedek tribe, which the head is Michael, Archangel Michael. There is a mimic that goes around posing as Archangel Michael, who does really nefarious things in a very covert manner. So, did you stock up enough TP for the whole month? I use the table. Okay. No, I don't. I didn't stock up on TP. Once upon a time, I really was ruled by fear. I have no shame in admitting this. Once upon a time, I was very much ruled by fear. Um, I did a lot of reading, a lot of researching. I uncovered a lot of information that made me very, very concerned about the trajectory of the human evolution. And I did have at one point um, huge stockpile, huge, everything you could possibly need. I got rid of those caches a while ago. It was so much that I had to get storage units spread out in different states. I'm telling you, my fear, the level of fear that I operated within was fucking insane, insane. And now it's kind of just like, well, you know what? Really? You want me to starve? Okay, go ahead, don't feed me. But you know damn well how hangry I get. Good luck getting me to do the job you sent me here to do. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You want me to start? Okay. Okay. Let's play that game, Michael. Let's play that game. Let's go ahead and play the game. He doesn't play games with me. um, oh, you like that, huh, Eric? How can you be sure which Archangel Michael is the real one? Set it on fire. If the face melts, that's a mimic. Well, it's not just any fire. It has to be run through your arc of Kokoro. You should probably take my classes. I teach classes on the energy work that I do. No one taught me this energy work. I was just born knowing how to do certain things. And excuse me, I spent my whole life cultivating that skill. And I kept it very quiet for most of my life. And I finally, about a year ago, um, I finally got comfortable enough to share it with people. Let's see. Right, right. She's Jen says, I feel like the labeling is only important to helping one figure out what they're supposed to be doing, but then not be attached to it. When you get too attached to the label, it really cripples your growth because we've been filtered through so many different lineages that to confine yourself to one specific one, it's going to cripple you. It just really is. Like for me, my primary filtering before this life would be Arcturus. That's why I'm able to manipulate the human body the way I am, the way I do. Like detect illness, things like that. That's why. And one of the reasons why I can be really fucking savage. One of my other dominant filterings would be through Lyra. And I'll claw the shit out of you. There's times where I find myself getting really worked up. I get triggered, I get really worked up, and I've said, like on live streams, I will claw the shit out of you. And then I'm like, retract the claws. Retract. Just reach. Don't mind the blood dripping from the cloth. Yeah, for much of my life, my savagery was very much hidden, very, very much hidden. I experienced such a prolonged period of existing as a Stepford soul where you have to really keep up appearances and blah, 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 obligation, especially with a culture that I grew up in. Um, there's a lot of sense of obligation to not embarrass the family. Hey, I'm just saying. Let's see. You want me to talk about my fibromyalgia? So, with my fibromyalgia, you mean like how it started? I was doing a lot of um, internal work. I had started a cycle of dark night of the soul, and when that began, I went full vegan. I also began practicing religiously um, yoga, and I would lift weights, and um, it was working for me for a short period. And then one of my siblings got very sick, like he almost died. And I tried to meditate, but I couldn't do it. And one day I had come home from the hospital because he was in a coma, um, multiple organ failure. I came home from the hospital. I went to the gym and, oh, no, I didn't come home. I went to the gym first before I went to the hospital. And while I was on the elliptical, um, that has a tendency to zone me out. And so I started thinking about him. And then at that time, I didn't know what I did, how I did it, and what the result would be. But what I experienced was a bright flash of light, like from everything. The whole room went pure white, got pulled into my feet, up my central channel, up my head, out of the top of my head. And then, like that, I was in his hospital room and it slammed into his chest and went through his whole body. And from that day on, for years, I had really bad fibromyalgia, really, really bad. Like I nearly passed out on the machine. I almost fell off the machine. I figured it was just because I get hypoglycemia. I figured it was just hypoglycemia, but it wasn't. So right after the gym, I went to the hospital to visit him because that was my routine. I would go visit him every day. And he had been in a coma for, I think, like 2 or 3 months. Um, uh, yeah, I think it was like 2 or 3 months. And that day I arrive, this motherfucker was arguing with his nurse with a trach tube. I was like, he's awake. he, because it was just so complex what was going on with his health. They had to put a trach tube, put a hole in his throat with a trach tube. Right before he had all of this happen to him, he had just had open heart surgery. Okay. He had open heart surgery. It was the day before he was supposed to go home from the hospital. There was some kind of complication. He was having a hard time breathing. They took him to CT. They wanted to get a CT scan. He coded. He had a code blue. And he was out. From that point on, all the way to like how many months later, he was out. And so when he woke up, after I did that for him and he woke up, he thought it had only been like 15 minutes. So I don't know if you remember from like the 80s. It's kind of like like an iPad thing with a QWERTY, like buttons for the letters. And the very top has like a little screen where you could type words. And the buttons were probably like this big each. So it was pretty big, right? And he couldn't see it, and the letters were big. And he was telling me he ca- he ripped out he ripped out the fucking ventilator, and he's covering his trach. He's covering the fucking hole in his throat. Go get me my phone. I was like, what? Go get me my phone. I was like, go get you your phone? And he said, yes, because at that time, that's when Verizon came out with the phone that opens and closes, and there's a QWERTY board inside. And I was like, what are you going to do with your phone? And he was trying to ask him, are you stupid or something? If you can't type out letters this big, you're not going to type it out there. And so he drops his phone on the bed. He's like pissed off. I'm like, you're awake. And he goes, yeah. Tell this bitch I want a Diet Coke. I was like, what? He told me, tell this bitch I want a Diet Coke. And mind you, when he had surgery before all this shit happened, he was like bodybuilder, really thick, not fat, like thick, a lot of muscle. This fool woke up the size of Mary Kate and Ashley. He was like 80 pounds, skeletal. Tell this bitch I want my Coke. It was like, and it's 3:33. I was like, bruh, you can't have Coke. And he's like, fuck you, I want my Coke. And he's usually he's not like that. You know what I mean? And I was like, do you know what day it is? Have you seen your hands? And he's like, huh? I said, you're like 80 pounds. You fucking nearly died. Like, this is the first time you woke up in 2-3 months. You've been in a coma. And he's like, shut up. And I said, I'm not joking. And I asked the nurse, have any of you shown him a mirror? He said, tell this bitch to give me a Diet Coke. I was like, oh my God. You're crazy. Yeah, no, it was too much. It was too much. And when he was still in a coma, they kept like every day they would prep my family. And every time I went in, you really need to talk to your parents, talk to your family. You guys need to start making arrangements, make his final. I'm like, why? He's not dying. He's not dying. And they would look at me like I'm crazy. I'm in denial. And then when his brain function started to stabilize a little bit, because he kept having seizures, they couldn't stop it. When his brain function started to stabilize, they were like, we really do have to explore the idea of brain damage, and that best case scenario, he'll have the intellect of like a 3-year-old. And I was like, why the fuck would you say that? He's going to fully recover. And they were just like, this family's in denial. He woke up to tell this bitch I want my Diet Coke. And I mean, it took him a while to get the muscle back. He went through some pretty intense physical therapy, but yeah, no, he runs his own gym. He's a gym instructor. He owns the gym. Like, yeah, his life went on. It didn't take long either. So just telling you guys, but it fucked up. I had chakra blowout my whole primary. I probably blew out some of my morphogenetic chakras. I definitely obliterated my secondary chakras in my palms. I fucking had burned my hands. I was fucked up. My back, it fucked up my back. I got degenerative disc disease from that. My hair started falling out. It hasn't stopped falling out. It's just- I don't know, motherfucker. You owe me some fucking hair restoration. I'm just saying. You better pay for some hair restoration. But yeah. Oh, good, good. The doctors are always so convinced of worst case scenario. Like, can you kindly shut the fuck up? Okay? Just kindly shut the fuck up because this patient can hear you. I remember one night he was still, so he went into a coma, multiple organ failure. And then while he was in a coma, he started having uncontrollable seizures. And so, on top of being in a coma, they did a medically induced coma. So, they sedated him so much that he had to be on life support the whole time. And they were like, he's totally knocked out. And I was like, are you sure? I don't think he's totally knocked out. And they're like, no, he's totally knocked out. And I don't know if he knows this. Y'all better not tell him. This is our secret. So the nights that I would come and visit him, because only one family member at a time, he was so severe. He had two nurses with him at all times in the ICU. When it would be my turn to stay with him, I would play on repeat the entirety of Paris Hilton's album. I would put it in earbuds and I would play it for him. And he would nod his head. He would go like that. And I would ask the nurses, I was like, is he nodding his head to the music? And they're like, oh no, that's probably a muscle spasm. I was like, I don't know. And then one night, I the album had finished and I had to go home. So I took off the headphones and I was holding his hand the whole time. And I whispered to him, I have to go home now. I'll come back in the morning. I swear to God, he gripped my hand and he goes like this. And then he started crying. And I was like, he is not asleep. And they were like, no, he is. And I was like, no, he's not. He's crying. He gripped my hand and he shook his head. No, he's not asleep. And they kept insisting. I was like, are y'all fucking stupid or something? Is that what it is? You keep medicating him, putting him back to sleep? So yeah, no, I don't know. He doesn't want to talk about what he experienced, but I know he knows that I know. So let's see. How do you know if you have chakra blowout? Depending on which chakra blows out, it produces specific type of symptoms. So if you have chakra blowout in your root, you have a tendency to have constipation. You have a tendency to have problems with your hip flexors, your psoas, excuse me, inner thighs, with emotions that has a lot to do with feeling very dejected, feeling like a failure, feeling very fearful, just a whole bunch of different symptoms. If you look up what each chakra is responsible for, because each one has specific emotions and organs that it kind of governs, then you'll have an idea of where your chakra blowout is. The longer that blowout is allowed to pool energy, stagnant energy, the more pronounced the symptoms will be. And you have to clear that out. It has to be cleared out. I just happen to know how to reconstruct, fully rebuild a chakra. I can shatter it and rebuild it. So yeah, you should definitely, if you're having intense chakra blowout symptoms, you should definitely consider chakra rejuvenation. You can find that on my website. Let's see. I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you. So, what needs to happen though once the chakra is reconstructed? Once a chakra is reconstructed, you still have to do the work to maintain that. if the mindset that allowed for that circumstance to happen and be sustained is allowed to remain, then the condition will return. It will return. Um, let's see. How much? Oh, it was bad. It was a really bad, really, really bad. I couldn't do anything for myself. Um, I couldn't open a bag of chips. It was almost like I had rheumatoid arthritis. Uh, I often would become literally crippled. I would have to lay on the couch or the bed all day in a fetal position. Um, and luckily, I have a gigantic bladder like a fucking camel. I'm not joking. So my husband would carry me to the bathroom before he leaves for work. And because he's an IT contractor, well, then he was, if you don't work, you don't get paid. There's no, you don't get time off, sick calls. I mean, you can take time off, you ain't going to get paid though. And so I told him, no, you have to go to work. And so he would leave me there and I would have to wait until he gets home from work. Mind you, he works in an 8-hour day, so 9 hours if you include the lunch. So that's 9 hours plus 2-hour commute one way. So 9 plus 4, he'd be gone for 13 hours. And it was bad. It was really bad. There would be times where I was so depressed. I just would cry all day. It was really, really bad. I often, I would be in the doctor's office 3 to 4 times a week, and my bathroom looked like a fucking pharmacy. Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. You can't yeah, I couldn't tie my shoelaces. It was definitely hard to hold a spoon. Yeah. Mm. I'm sorry, chronic fish. Did I think about suicide? Absolutely. You can't experience that kind of pain and not consider that. Absolutely. Am I ashamed of that? No. No, people need to know this. Just because you're in that kind of pain and it's like you want it to end and you think of ending it yourself, that doesn't make you weak or a loser. It means you're reaching your breaking point. It means you need to tell someone and you need them to help you. That's what that means. So, yeah, no, it was bad, and then I began doing I got off the vegan diet. I began doing energy work on myself, and I just one day realized, shit, when was the last time my back gave out? It's been a couple years. Not joking. It's been a couple years. My back hasn't given out in a couple years. Yeah. And I noticed like I took over all of the house chores again because, my husband was working full time and I'm domestic as fuck. I love it. Some people are like, I hate this. I hate being a house. I fucking love it. I love cleaning and cooking and taking care of children. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. I love it. That's like my calling in life. Yeah. Yeah, depression can get real bad. I mean, when my depression, because I haven't had this happen in a long time either, but when I would get bouts of depression, it would be very, very, you can't leave me alone. Like, you really can't, because I really don't give a shit. I really don't. Yeah, I don't. I've never been a cutter, but um, I am crazy enough to stick my head through the wall. Like, just yeah, yeah. No, like, it's bad. It's bad. I haven't been well, it was actually just for one short cycle of depression, but I think that had more to do with a parasitic circumstance than depression. Because after that latching was removed, I haven't been like that again. So, um, and that's another important thing that people need to recognize. When you have a parasitic latching, it doesn't create new characteristics. These are things that have to already be naturally a part of you, but you're very good at controlling it. You're very good at hiding it. When a parasite is around and really influencing you, it will amplify that characteristic. So if I don't have violent tendencies that are just very well controlled and very hidden, a parasite can't suddenly make me violent. It just can't. It can't. It doesn't have that kind of creative authority, but it can definitely amplify it. You love domestic life. I love it. I love being a mom. I love being a wife. Um, Good. That's good, Lorna. Lorna, so you say now I just need to sort my life out. What if, and I'm not saying this is what it is, but what if the true struggle is not that your life is chaos? What if your true struggle is that you excel in chaos, but you're trying really hard to fit into a mold, a box that was never designed to hold a greatness like yours? What if that's where your struggle is? Where you're trying to be normal, you're trying to be productive, you're trying to be like other people, and you just know that you're not, and you're never going to be. You're never going to be like other people. I think that was one of the things that really, I think that's one of the things that resolved those cycles of depression. I think that was the root of my depression. This painful knowing that I'm just not like other people. And I just wanted so badly to be like other people, to not be weird, because no matter where I went, I was always the weird one. And I never talked, which was weird. How are you the weird one if you never talk? I literally, I wouldn't talk. I'm very introverted. In real life, I'm very introverted and I wouldn't talk. So, really? So for you, it's your twin that's causing you to feel dark? Or what do you mean? I want to understand. um, what, angelic? Did I miss something? I don't know. She blames you for everything that's happening in her life. Why? I there's factors that are missing. There's details that are missing that make it difficult for me to understand what your circumstance is. I think part of what goes on, um, I think part of what goes on is sometimes one of the twin pair is rather developed telepathically, and they can hear and feel what's going on within you, and they just assume that you could do the same. And it's almost like this sense of, um, I don't feel like that's your twin. If we're going to be honest, I don't feel like that's your twin. I feel like that's a Trojan. I could be wrong though. I feel like that's a Trojan worming its way into your auric field due to the twin label. So I don't know how you would address that. Um, and do you even really need your twin in your life? If they don't want to be a healthy part of your life, I have no contact with my twin. I don't wish him any harm, but yeah, I just don't have contact with him, and we're both still alive. I, I think he's. I don't even know if he's really my twin. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, if we're gonna be honest, yeah, false twin or mm, demonic Trojan. That's what I keep feeling. She's not a twin of any kind, not even a false twin, just a demonic Trojan. This channel doesn't need drama. You're out. One of my mates is a twin, and her brother don't get on, don't even talk to each other now. That's sad. That's sad. I probably should go to bed. It's 4, and I usually go to the gym at 5. Let's see. What? Oh, you guys, I gotta show you this amazing video that I made. Are you ready? I found toilet paper! I made that for you guys. It's on my Facebook. Oh my god. You know, Bangkok Bunny's in the house. All right, guys. Thank you for entertaining me for almost 2.5 hours. Yeah, I found toilet paper. I only have 1 pack. Don't be trying to rob me for 1 pack. um, I don't know. I don't know. I love when people state things like they're facts in comments. You a fax machine? Ooh, we got a fax machine. Okay. Um, Yeah, it's gonna drive you crazy if you keep trying to fit into a certain type. It's definitely gonna drive you crazy. And maybe we have to begin exploring this concept of ambivert, where you can be an extrovert and an introvert, depending on how safe your environment feels. Okay. So, good night. Good night. Good night, guys. Bye.